In the US today, there's no pure wholesale player in the market. There are other wholesalers in the market, but they always retail their own service. And I think in the US, where the MVNO model has not really succeeded terribly well, I think a lot of it is that conflict between retail and wholesale operations. We're not a retailer, we're purely a wholesaler. Our aim is to bring as many new entrants and established players onto our network as possible. And we feel that's quite disruptive. We think that the world is changing rapidly and that there opens up enormous opportunities for companies that wouldn't traditionally have come into this space. So we think it's disruptive, we think it's the right time, and we think that it will succeed. Where we're at is the network is completely designed. The technology is now in production, so our L-band base stations, which were a new type of base station, LTE base stations, are rolling off the production lines now at NSN's factories in Finland. And our first devices are almost ready now to commence testing. Our satellite testing for our new satellite is almost complete, so we're pretty much ready to go. So now it's about rolling the network out, and we've just commenced those rollout operations in the last few weeks in Las Vegas, and we'll move then through a number of other markets preparing for our launch at the end of this year. I think it's easy to look backwards at satellite and say, oh, they're big clunky handsets with big aerials, with batteries that don't last very long, with long delays. That's how it used to be. Satellites have moved on at the same pace as wireless networks have moved along. So today's satellites, the next generation satellite that we have, the most powerful commercial satellite ever launched, transforms the ability to have that experience. Yes, there will be an element of lag. It's impossible. The physics of talking to something so far away means that there will be a little lag. But if you're doing data services, so for example, if you're doing instant messaging, you won't know. It would be not, you just won't know that that's happening. So I think what we've got to do is two things. We've got to acknowledge the fact that the satellite industry has moved on technologically at a real pace. And secondly, the services that people use today are perfectly appropriate services to be using over a satellite, whether it's SMS, instant messaging, or email. Oh, I think we're going to face a lot of challenges. I think we've faced a lot of challenges since we brought this idea to fruition 2 years ago. I think the challenges that we face, we're bringing a new LTE frequency to the market. That's never an easy thing to do, and as we're aware, that has meant that we've had to go through a process to make sure that our new frequency can safely cohabit with GPS frequencies. It means that we've had to develop new chipsets, which we've been doing with Qualcomm. It means that we've had to develop new devices. So, we've got a lot of challenges. I'm really encouraged. We are a lot further ahead in the project than I thought we could be at this stage. We've overcome a ton of challenges so far, and we'll meet new challenges, and we'll deal with them with the same tenacity that we've dealt with them so far. We've got a number of customers that we've yet to announce who are currently either at the contract signing stage or leading up to it. But the customers, I'll give you two examples of customers that we've already signed and announced. One is Leap Wireless, who will be using us for national roaming. The other is a fairly traditional use of a cellular network. But the second is Best Buy. Best Buy Connect, which is the mobile virtual operator that Best Buy has developed, will look to embed connectivity, I suspect, in a lot of the consumer electronics products that they sell in the Best Buy stores today. It's pretty much top of our list of things that we need to solve. We need to have a national roaming deal, or certainly a patchwork of regional roaming deals that gives us national roaming in aggregation. I think we're looking to disrupt and change the market, and one of the areas we're looking to disrupt and change is roaming. We provide an excellent roaming platform for regional players. We will give them uniform pricing across the US at levels that to date they've not been able to achieve with traditional operators. Well, for us, at the moment we have a lot of spectrum in one frequency, so it's not something that's really been too much of a worry for us, because we have got 46 megahertz of L-band, and then we've got 8 megahertz of 1.4 and 5 megahertz of 1.6, so we've got 59 megahertz in total, but almost all of it's in the same band. So to date, it's not been something necessarily that's been at the top of our list, but LightSquared will run out of spectrum sometime in the future. I don't know when, and so we're constantly looking for opportunities to expand our spectrum portfolio, and I think then we're in tandem with what's happening with the industry, which is increasingly multifunction, multi-frequency base stations. Yeah, we have looked at TDD LTE. We don't need it today because we've got 4 10 megahertz paired channels, but we've kept a very close eye on what's been happening in that space. It's supported by Qualcomm, it's supported by all of the major manufacturers, and obviously opens up, when spectrum becomes available, the potential of deploying TDD channels. I think, at the beginning of next year we will have some fairly substantial network deployed. We'll be launching the service commercially, and you will be able to talk on our network, have data sessions on our network, data sessions and talk on our roaming partners' networks, and that may be more than one roaming partner. And you'll be able to talk and have data sessions on our next generation satellite, which is unique. I'm not really competing with anyone today, because the only sort of wholesale operator out there of any scale is Clearwire, but it's effectively the wholesale operator to one customer, which is Sprint. So I suppose that's my natural competitor. But they're also a retailer, so they have a retailer's cost base. I don't, so I'm comfortable that I can, under the pricing umbrella that exists in the US, I'm very comfortable that we can provide the service to our retail partners, which will allow them to make decent margins out of retailing LightSquared service. It's excellent. I participated in the Dallas show, which was equally vibrant. I mean, as you saw in the hall for these keynotes, the hall was full. There were no spare seats. And I think the level of engagement has been excellent. I think it's interesting how over the last year or so these shows have changed. I mean, I think even just a year ago it was questions about, are we going to go to LTE? That question's dead. We're all going to LTE, and now you see companies like CSL and TeliaSonera telling us, hey guys, this is what it's like. And so to me, that's hugely valuable.